Hey YouTube, it's another perfect day in God's country, and I ain't lying. Look at that, it's a special day today. Lucky on the move. We be rolling here, rolling. Yeah. I already got my coffee in me. I got too much coffee in me already, but today I want to do something a little special, y'all, because, I know I haven't been making a lot of videos lately and all that. Look, I still ain't fixed that. Some people like to make fun of me for that old paint there. It actually looks a lot worse on video. The paint clearing away there on the top of my old porch here. This house was likely built in the 1880s, by the way. It's listed on the deed as 1901, but that's because nobody can find the old deeds for any of these houses. It's another perfect day in God's country, and I ain't lying. And it's an extra special cool day today because I'm going to do a shout-out video. For all of y'all who've been following this channel for a while, you know that every now and again I just want to shout somebody out and spread a little love and all that. And today I'm going to do a huge, gigantic shout-out video to one of my favorite long-term listeners, my man Eric. And there's a reason. This is not just out of the blue. I just don't feel like working that hard today, y'all. The weather is absolutely perfect. I got up, drank my coffee, went and took care of my cabin, spoke to my guest that's coming. They're happy, they're tucked in, they know how to get there. The cabin's perfect, everything's done. Bought me a 6-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon Tall Boys, and coming home, I'm barefoot already. And I might take about 7.5, 8 hours to mow my lawn and weed eat. And what am I gonna do today? Well, me and Eric are gonna do the truck tour because why did I say a moment ago this was extra special today? Because my man Eric and I have a lot in common. Lucky and Eric have a lot in common because the same kind of real simple life pleasures make us smile. Eric likes to smile about the same things Lucky likes to smile about. And for all of you who might remember the video, we're going to start with this right here because Eric likes to see the trucks and Lucky loves to see the trucks, man. This one's got a flat tire, but I got 4 new Goodyear Wranglers to throw on it. Just ain't got around to it. But yeah, this is that old F-150 I paid $500 for before COVID. And she's got, I don't know, somewhere in the 300s, thousands of miles on her. You know, the odometer don't work, the gas gauges don't work. All the important stuff works, like I told you guys. This one's an XL, not an XLT, which I highly recommend because the windows still roll down, the smoker window's still open, the heater still works, and the 4-wheel drive is floor shift, so it goes in and out of 2-wheel and 4-wheel drive flawlessly. You just have to stop and do it, fellas. It's not shift on the fly. But for all you cool guys that insist on shift on the fly, well, that shift on the fly is going to jam you up one day when you get in your truck and it ain't going to go in 4-wheel drive. And you ain't going to be able to figure it out because it's going to be one of them electronical issues. And you're going to have to take it to the dealer and they're going to say, well, your electronicals are all messed up. You might need a computer or a mothership or a motherboard or something shit. And it's going to cost you $1,800. We can fix it. Well, if I break my floor shifter on my 4-wheel drive, and it won't shift anymore because it's because it's a manual floor shift, which is just a direct connect to the linkage. I can crawl under the truck and throw it in 4-wheel drive. Now, you got one of them knobs on your dashboard and you think you're cool because you can throw it in 4-wheel drive on the fly. Well, let me tell you, that ain't cool because pretty soon you ain't going to have no 4-wheel drive. And when that is if you live in the Rust Belt like I do, Eric knows this. If you live in the Rust Belt, soon you ain't going to have no 4-wheel drive. And guess what? It ain't so simple as crawling under your truck and flipping the old metal lever in to go into 4-wheel drive. I've messed with those a lot, and they're a pain in the butt. Okay, so I don't like no knob. I don't need to shift 4-wheel drive on the fly. I live in the UP. My truck goes into 4-wheel drive right around Halloween, and it comes out just before June. And, you know, that's pretty simple. I take it out of 4-wheel drive for them 30 days of rain that we get, and then it goes right back in. So I don't need to shift on the fly. Plus, I got the locking hubs. This is my flat tire. But anyway, $500 several years ago. Drive this thing quite a bit. It's kind of sitting right now, but I've used her a lot. I'm going to use her again this winter. That's why she's getting new meats all the way around. People think I'm crazy getting 4 new tires for this thing, but dude, I got a new starter, new alternator, and 4 new tires. Dude, I'm good for 20 years, bro. All right? So Eric knows that. Lucky knows that. That's why this is a huge shout out to my man Eric today. I wanted to say thank you, Eric, for always listening to the channel. And want to shout out a lot of people. I'd love to shout out everybody. But, of course, my man Call for Zero, always leaving good comments. I have a couple corrections. We're going to get to this one here, Eric, in a minute. This is also painted military green. And this is a 1963 Dodge bus. But I need to make a couple quick corrections from yesterday. Shout out my man James Hawk for pointing out, Lucky rambles, man. I just shoot from the hip and start talking. So I was talking about the retro reflectors on the moon, and I was talking about science claiming they shot laser beams off it, and he kind of gently corrected me and said, wasn't it radar? And I'm like, yeah, it was. I told y'all when I started flapping my jaws about that, I said, I don't like talking about this shit because I done forgot more than I learned about it. But, I know just enough to get me in trouble. So thank you for that, James. I didn't have to go look that up or anything. You just jogged my memory. And yes, I do believe the claim is more radar-based than laser beam. There may have been attempts at laser beam, and maybe that's why it was in my head, but the general claim is that radar has been bounced off of those retro reflectors. And then, of course, the rest of what I said can proceed as it was, because it was correct. And you get a lot of that from Lucky, man. I shoot from the hip. I talk really fast, especially once I got a few cups of coffee in me. And it just is what it is, man. I'm a fountain of useless information, and sometimes I make a lot of little mistakes. A couple videos ago, I said, all of the media, it all has the same person. I didn't know I did that until I was screening the video later, and I just left it in. But the word was purpose that I thought I used, right? When you get old, you just use wrong words and shit, and you don't even notice. So I was like, all the media and all the propaganda all has the same person. And then I just moved on to the next sentence. And when I listened back to it, I'm like, what the hell? All of it has the same purpose. There's that correction. So correction, folks, for anybody that wants to come and scold me for claiming they bounce lasers, that they claim to bounce lasers off the moon. James corrected me. It is certainly radar is at least the bulk of the claims, if not all of them. I don't know. I don't need to know, of course, right? It's the nuts and bolts of the conversation that's the important part. Anyway, back to having a great day. I should have got me one of them Pabst Blue Ribbons. I haven't opened one yet. Maybe I'll run in and do that, eh? Hey, y'all want to bear with me for a minute? Here, I'll give you I gotta talk to my man Dr. Evils too, because he's gonna love this. What do you see back there? Dr. Evils. That rolled into my yard. At least I had it brought here and delivered the same day you dropped the video about your neighbor buying a boat and letting it sit for 4 years and then putting it up for sale. It was really ironic because somehow that popped up in my feed and I watched your video and I'm like, that's really ironic. But this one back there is really cool because I got it for free. And it's a 1977 31-foot Silverton with twin, what they call the Chrysler Marine 225s, which are 318s, Chrysler 318s, which is really high on my list of favorite motors that didn't belong to Ford. 318 is a very, very well-built, smooth-running, very reliable motor. So this thing's got a matching pair of Chrysler 318s in it, or what they called the Chrysler Marine 225. And that was because it was called the 225 because it has 225 horsepower. Dig that, Eric? 220, that means my boat's got 450 horsepower, And that sounds like something that me and Eric would actually do is, you hear what I'm saying, Eric? All we need is 450 horses. Sounds like we need to make a trip to Kentucky because, that might be easier than getting these old Chryslers running. Actually, folks, this boat's only got 865 hours on it, and it came out of the water in 2023. Look at this beast, man. It takes up like half my yard, it seems like. When I look at it out my bedroom window from upstairs, I'm like, holy shit, that thing's huge. The perfect tiny house for somebody. If anybody wants to buy this, Dr. Evil's just laughed. Yeah, like he's already wanting to sell it. Well, yeah, I know the game, Dr. E. I don't want this thing sitting here rotting. I've been cleaning it up and making it look nice. But do I have plans on sailing around the world in it? Hell no. I live in God's country. I ain't going nowhere, man. It's just, clean her up and flip her. But you want to talk about a perfect tiny house for somebody, man. It'd be for sale for around $5,000. So around $5,000, you got yourself, I don't know what, it's pretty spacious inside. There's probably about 300-400 square feet inside, more than like 100 square foot shed. And a little kitchen, a little bathroom, all this needs some work. But cool thing about a tiny house that's a boat and it's on a trailer is that you could put it on some land and they can't tax you on it. It's just a boat on a trailer, man. It's not a house. So, hey, anybody wants to live creatively or whatever. This thing is on a beast of a trailer, but I spun a bearing getting it home. Literally. I made it 15 feet less far than I tried to get to. And spun a bearing. Wait till Eric sees this. Eric, this is what happens when you do all kinds of crazy hillbilly stuff like Lucky does. The guy that gave me this boat wouldn't tow it. He has a big rig. He could have towed it. He wouldn't tow it an inch. He's like, nope, you risk it. Yep. Well, I got her home. I wanted to back this boat up against the trees back there. I made it. We went 14 miles with the boat. And then this happened. I guess you can't see it real well. The wheel was leaning over a lot further. I spun a bearing right there. And the trailer just said, nope. And nothing would push it. So there it sits. I figure that's not bad. 15 feet short of my goal. That wasn't bad. I call that a day of good, high quality rednecking is what I call it. So, yeah. Anyway, like I said, it is another perfect day in God's country. And, hell, I better go get me one of them beers, eh? Y'all sit here and watch the neighbors roll around. Hey, I'm in the mid. Hang on. I'll talk to you later. No, it's all right. Hang on, buddy. Sorry, y'all. Okay. Sorry, folks. Always stuff going on around here, but it's gonna be a great day. Sorry, see, y'all didn't get that super loud like bush, psh, head for the mountains, and that's because Lucky likes his beer ice fucking cold. A lot of people don't get that. When you see a beer commercial and they go, psh, that shit flies everywhere, they got to heat that fucking beer up to get it to do that. For all of you flat earthers, you get it. You understand. Air pressure, gas pressure, right? The warmer it is, the higher the pressure. Well, yeah, when somebody opens a beer and it goes, well, that fucking sounds great for a beer commercial, but that some bitch gonna be piss warm and Lucky gonna hand it back and go, you got a cold one? So cheers, y'all. It's gonna be a great day. My man Eric, yeah, we're taking the tour here with my man Eric. Real important for me to shout Eric out, man. He's been in it for the long haul. He's one of my long-time listeners, y'all. And, I don't take enough time to have fun with this channel and just spread the love and tell everybody thank you. And that's all I want to do today. I don't want to do no work. So, yeah, Dr. Evils, there's my newest project, 31 foot. Guy came over a couple days after I got it delivered, and I told him I'd take $2,500 cash right then, quick flip, you know what I mean? Because I'll roll like that. Turn them and burn them, baby. To be honest, it cost me almost $400 to drag this sumbitch home. It was quite a project. I'm not going to go into that, but that's about what I got into it. And then I got quite a bit of elbow grease into it so far up on the inside, and it's in great shape. I found no damage. The engines look mint. The interior is extremely nice. Just a little musty and dirty, you know. So guys like me and Eric, we just smile about that kind of shit. I love that kind of shit, folks. I live for doing shit like that. Look at this mess. I got so many projects going at the moment. It's just a big old mess. So, Eric, you probably know this, but this is one of Lucky's favorite trucks right here, man. One of my favorite trucks. My 1986 Ford F-250. With the 302, the one that inspired the Mustang 5.0, you guys know. The infamous Ford motor. That other one I showed you had the inline six, which I probably prefer. I think they're actually more torquey. They feel more torquey. But a 302 is cool, man. Not too bad. As they move into the 90s and stuff, man, they put so much gewgaws on these things. So many sensors and valves and EGR valves and PCV valves and throttle body sensors and I don't know, just all kinds of horse shit they put under the hood. So every time it's running funny, you got to toss like $200 on it, at it, you know, just replacing sensors and shit to dial her in. But other than that, man, these things are just beasts. You can't kill it. And this truck, I guess you can't see it because I'm out here in the sun, but this truck makes me smile. This thing, it's got, you know, it's got the built-in dip cup. You know, if y'all are familiar with that, you know, comes factory with the factory dip cup installed right there in the floorboard. It's nice and handy, you know. And then look, man, she's pretty nice, pretty darn nice. Again, what do you see there, boys? Floor shift 4-wheel drive, roll down windows, AM/FM radio, heater and defroster. And that's the plow controls there, of course. Get her done. So, I got 4 new beasts of tires for this one. Snow tires. These are some bad mamma jammas right here. Put me in hock for life and lose everything I own. I'm only serious. Oh, there's the old Cadillac. There's the old Cadillac. I don't reckon, Eric, I don't know if Eric, if you ever seen this, if I showed it to you yet. I got her for sale. I always got stuff for sale, y'all. A little hesitant. I got an offer on this one last week and I declined it. Because I won't give this beast away. That's my 1978 Eldorado Baritz. And I have all of the, if you're familiar with these cars, you know, they made these fillers that were made out of plastic. So when you see these old ones, all those filler parts are all gone because they rotted away and fell out. And I've got all new ones custom made out of fiberglass, and they're all primered and paint ready. That'll go in all those gaps. And then I got a new pair of air shocks for the back. And that's all she needs, man. She just floats down the road. Beautiful old car. 78 Cadillac Eldorado Baritz. I believe this might still be my avatar. When I started my channel, they're like, you need to put a picture here and I'm like, I ain't got no pictures, you know, for real. Never a big computer guy. Then I'm like, oh, I just took a picture of the front seat of my Cadillac, right? And I'm like, I'll just use that. But this has got the red dash, clock set at 420, if you can see that. You know, I live up in the UP, so the key's in there. Anyone can fire it up and take her for a rip if they want, right? Try me. White leather seats, need cleaning a little bit, but she ain't bad, man. Beautiful little car. The Pimp Mobile. So anyway, we got us a severe issue going on because I opened a beer and I done lost the damn thing. How the hell did that happen? I done lost my beer. There it is. That's what happens when the place is a mess like this. Hell, I can't keep track of my beers. Anyway, y'all, thank you for taking yet another moment out of your day to hang out with me, Lucky Haskins, for a little high-quality rednecking with my friend Eric. This is a huge and giant shout-out to my man Eric. Again, just thank you for being a long-time listener of this channel. And, man, like I said, the reason I'm shouting out Eric is because he gets it, man. Me and Eric could hang out outside and look at these trucks and smile together all day long. So Eric feels just like me about the Ford trucks. At least I suppose he does. But that's why it was important for me, folks, to give my man Eric a big giant shout out. I do believe he's in town, hanging around, and watching a little bit of YouTube while he's chilling out. So we know he's going to tune in to watch old Lucky. And so, yeah, man, some guys heading down to fish right now, taking a big old boat. But, yeah, and my man Dr. Evils, man, that was really irony. The truth world is so wild, man. I get done backing that thing into the yard, and I come in, and later after dinner, turn on the computer, and in my feeds there, you've got that video of your neighbor who bought a boat and let it sit for 3 years or whatever. No, Lucky's the opposite. Okay, I hang out until that guy gives me the boat, and then I'll wash it and sell it for $5,000, right? But like I told you, I already offered one guy who was interested in it for $2,500. He almost bought it. He said, that's a great deal. So yeah, the trailer's worth that, man. Put a bearing on it, you know. I'll tell you what, you look them Chrysler 225s up on the internet and see what those are worth. You might get a little shocker. I got about $14,000 worth of Chrysler motors in that some bitch with 865 hours in them. These are the old school ones too, the good shit. No computers, no smog control, no nothing. Just pour that fucking gas in and light them up, boys. Light them up. So, yeah, that's a cool old boat, man. Only 865 hours. That's because a lot of people put these in the water and tie them to a dock in a marina, and they just come on Friday and Saturday and party on their boat. Don't go nowhere because it might cost them $400 in gas to go down the creek and back, you know. So, oh, it's going to be a good day. You know, Lucky going to keep it short, but y'all now know. Oh, by the way, somebody else told me, oh, and my man from Arizona. Well, I don't know if you're still out in Arizona. Oral Lumens, man. Good to see you, brother. I meant to say that, too. Good to see you, man. And, you know, all my long-term friends and listeners and the new people, too. And I do appreciate everybody that leaves comments. I do always read them. I know I've been really bad about replying and stuff lately. But I'll be honest, man. I throw my phone and my computer on the table inside, and I'm just outside, man. You know, trying to live a little, y'all. You know, reality's just out here, man. I love it. And that's just the way it is. So I'm trying, man. In fact, I believe I put a little effort in a day or so ago. I was going to respond to all the emails on my last video, and then I never got to it. Something distracted me, you know. Playoff baseball, by the way. And I still got a couple games. Well, at least one. I still don't know what happened with the Yankees and the Red Sox. So don't tell me. I'll find that out soon enough. But unbelievable, the Tigers slid in. Man, amazing. Tigers win round one of the playoffs. I'm shocked. I was shocked to see that happen. But, yeah, man. Anyway, there you go. Kicking it old school with Lucky and Eric, man. Huge shout out to my man, Eric. I love you, buddy. Thank you for always tuning in and listening. And don't forget, ask yourself, who can I help today? And most importantly, be good or be good at it.